Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. Now, after the last media revision video that I did for AS did really well, I promised everyone, I've said for ages that I'm going to make another one for A2 media. So basically I'm just going to go through a load of theory. Theory isn't something which I particularly enjoy and I don't think about before I make, a video, but it's extremely important in the exam. I'm not going to go through the basic theories which you probably would have learnt about ages ago, like uses and gratifications or hypodermic needle, but I'm going to go through some of the more advanced theories which will really excite the exam board. So yeah, here's a load of them. So this is the idea that stereotypes are used as a quick way, a shortcut, of representing a character. So for example, if you look at my character of Richard Arse, you would probably assume him to be a working class Raji from the Newcastle upon Tyne area who is looking to cause some kind of kick-off.
We've really got any football squad in our league, I'm starving here! And
this is basically shown through the mise-en-scène, his acting and his costume. There's no need for a background explanation or a background story of him because you've already made the intended assumption that the creator wants you to make. This theory just literally relates to how realistic or trustworthy something is. So vlogs are a really good example. It's literally just reflecting real life. Documentaries as well, they're really good examples of the reflective view. So this is when views are constructed by the media. They might be fake and not necessarily true. So it's when something is encoded into a video which might not necessarily be true. So for example, if we look back at the character of Richard Arse, the media would represent him as a thug or someone who's going to cause some violence. But how do we know that he's not just harmlessly looking for some Doritos? So another way of explaining this, here's a clip of me just before I shot the video. And you can see me making my bed, sort my room out, and that is a constructionist view right there, because it's not a clear, realistic view of what my room is like, because my room's very messy. And I've actually went and, cleaned up a bit to make it look more presentable for you, but that's not a realistic view. It's faked, basically. So this is the idea that because nowadays there's loads of identities that you can choose from, that people are now being a bit more experimental and males are now becoming more feminine and females might become more masculine. So for example, if we look at people like Paul O'Grady who have feminine traits about them. This is the idea that women are objectified in the media, and more specifically how you now have quite slutty stereotypes of women from the way how a lot of media texts represent them as sexual objects. And this is often found in music videos. A good example is Airborne's Blonde, Bad and Beautiful. And this brings us to the next theory. This is the idea that the dominant point of view is male and that women are presented in media text for a male's enjoyment or voyeurism. So this is the opposite of male gaze. So for example, if you've got a text or an image in the exam where you've got an athlete, a male athlete that's showing off his muscles, you could probably definitely apply this theory to it. This theory suggests that media texts follow a certain chain of events. So if we look at Rise and Power, one of my short films, the equilibrium, which is the first part, establishes the normal life of the characters. So we're sitting around watching a movie. Then there's a disruption, something occurs which breaks the normal flow of life, which is the power cut in this case. And then there's the realization, where the problem is fully developed and needs to be sorted For example, we're looking into why the power cut has occurred, and we find a journal which gives us information of the evil creature.
You keep getting power cuts for no reason.
Next you've got the restored order. This is where the characters attempt to repair the damage, so us hunting the creature down and killing it. And then you've got the equilibrium again, or the new equilibrium, where life returns to normal with possibly a few changes that have been made by, you know, the process of what's just happened. So a lot of places are represented and known through the media. A massive example is Los Angeles or Hollywood. And although not everyone has been there, pretty much everyone has an idea of what it's like for its constant exposure in films and games and whatever else. So the theory just basically suggests that you have an idea of places that you might not have ever been to. So you're judging what you see in the media as a correct representation. Another example is like My Idiot in Spain series, and obviously it's around the area of Cullera, and I doubt anyone will have been to Cullera here. So basically you're getting a view of that place which you've never been to through me, which I might be biased, it might be edited compared to what it actually really is. Now this theory also links with desensitization. If you don't know what that is, it's just basically when something happens so much that you become immune to it. And the hyperreality theory also suggests this. And the best example I can use is people who constantly play Grand Theft Auto 5 might visit LA at one point in their life and expect to see crime. And when they do see crime, they just see it as normal, something normal. They don't worry about it because they associate it with that game. This is basically the theory of celebrity endorsement, and it's arguing that if media texts have a celebrity in them or something famous, that they will automatically become popular. For example, we could look at my AC/DC concert or my Comic-Con video where the thumbnail is of us all dressed as Power Rangers, and we can see that these have got much more views than me just sitting in my room in a chair. Or as a better example, you can just look at all the constant adverts that use celebrities, like Amazon Prime's advert with Jeremy Clarkson.
An Amazon Fire TV stick. Everything you could possibly want.
This theory describes the advances in the internet and that it's now not just a place for research and information. It's grown into a place where people are communicating, sharing and creating their own content. So it really applies to people like me and people who make YouTube videos. But I mean also to anyone who's actually interacting or, I don't know, posting on Instagram for example, or anything that basically the audience is creating is a really good example of Web 2.0. This is basically just the idea of a worldwide community living, sharing and communicating together. So for example, if we look at my YouTube demographics, you can see that loads of people from around the world are all coming to this one page, this one small part of the internet basically, and that's what a global village is. It's a connection of people from around the world all on one specific part of the internet. So finally, this is a theory that older media theories such as the hypodermic needle are now outdated and they need to be adapted to fit into today's society. And if we're referring to the hypodermic needle theory, people today are generally much more active and they won't believe anything that they're told. So we're going to need to either just dispute the whole theory or adapt it to fit into today's culture and society. Anyway, I know that's probably quite a lot to take in, but that's all I've got for the theories. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments and I'll reply to them. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'm just going to put just a list now at the end of the video of all the other theories which I didn't talk about, just so you can recap on them. So yeah, thanks for watching.